Capricorn, it is time for your monthly reading for May of 2021. I'm Michele B, and if you have been following me, if you've been subscribed, you'll notice that I'm not in my standard habitat, right? Not where I usually am when I'm recording videos, which is my studio apartment, my studio flat in downtown Bellingham, Washington, right next to the train tracks. It's a really nice apartment, beautiful house plants all over. I love it. It's a wonderful background, but the noise has gotten so bad because the town is coming back to life after the pandemic. I have to open the windows to let in the fresh air because it's getting warm, and all the noise is just outrageous. So I said to myself, if I was wealthy, which I am, if I was abundant, right, then I could do anything I wanted to. I could get a hotel room to record my videos in. Okay, I will. So I did. Here I am. So let's look at your messages for May, Capricorn. I think you can appreciate that. First, we're going to look at what to embrace and what to leave behind for the month ahead. That is, what to take with you and what to leave behind for the month ahead. All right, let's get some messages here. Don't be shy. And one more. Okay. Ooh, interesting. We're leaving behind the idea that you are not going to be able to commit to something. All right. There's a part of you that's always on the edge of walking away. That's afraid to commit. That's afraid to settle down because, what a huge investment it is to commit to something, right? When you go in all the way, Capricorn. So you're like, I'm ready to make a decision about something. But then this is going to sound contradictory. Let's just go with it and see where we go, what we find out. It's saying to embrace the idea. This is seven of cups. There's 8 of cups and going back down to the 7 of cups, right? 7 of cups is what to embrace. Embrace the idea that you can commit to that higher self. There's all this nonsense, right? All this nonsense, all these chumps hanging around. But here you are committing to this greater version of yourself. And I really feel like that's what you were trying to go for, what you were searching for. This person's searching for something instead of committing to what's right in front of them, right? And here you are saying, you know what? I'm ready to commit. I'm ready to commit to this thing. I just don't know how to get to it. There's all these distractions on the way. All right. So committing to this higher self, this higher purpose, something that's beyond just you. So, yeah. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look at your soul messages for your soul purpose. I'm going to look at your abundance and prosperity, and I'm going to look at your love prospects. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Ba, 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 ba. Soul purpose is what you do in the world that is so really significantly meaningful. It's what you're good at, and it's what people really appreciate about you. It's what you came here to do. But it may not necessarily seem like it to you when you're doing it. It could just seem like, oh, that's just what I do. I take care of my kids. I, show up to my job on a regular basis. I'm loyal to my friends. I pay my bills on time. So I'm shifting resources around. I feel like it's not even that big of a deal, but it is part of your soul purpose. Everything that we do really is part of our soul purpose. All right, here we go. Here's some messages here. We got a little stack of stuff. The Devil and the 4 of Wands has come up a lot, and also the 9 of Swords. They've also all been coming up a lot. So we're going to keep this stuff in mind because they are illusions. I'm not going to focus on them. I'm going to set them aside. Instead, I'm just going to focus on this 4 of Wands energy, which is, it is dovetailing with this commitment to this higher thing. But this is like celebrating it. This is like, I really finally feel like I've come into alignment with something that's beyond just me, that's helping my community, that's helping the world, right? feel like there's something bigger than just me. Something just like, and this is the marriage card. Excuse my itchy nose. That means there's magic happening. This is the marriage card. So it's like you're being wedded to, as it were, being wedded to a commitment to something that's like really, really special. I don't know what that is for you. There's so many Capricorns out there. I don't know what that is for you. You want me to try? I guess I could try to see if I can get an idea of what that commitment is, what that passion is. But whatever it is, it's like, I finally figured out what it is. I'm not really sure how it's all going to work out getting there, but the energy's there. There's the Judgment. Wow, this is something that is carried on from your family. Okay, I'm being really specific for those of you who really wanted to know. Some of you already know what your life purpose is, okay? Some of you already know what your thing is that you're really good at. But for those of you who this resonates with, it's the Judgment card. It's representative of family lineages, of like a big picture story. Is there something that was carried on through your family and passed on to you that you're just really, really good at? It's because your whole family did it. And I'm not talking about like, my father was a blacksmith and his father was a blacksmith and we were all like, this is what we did. We're like from a family of doctors. But it's like something that you are really good at. For me, for my family, it was, we are really good at creating things with our hands, particularly with textiles. And I have a painter. On one side of my one grandmother is a painter, the other grandmother was a textile artist. So, and then my mother was a textile artist, and I'm a textile artist, and I love to paint, right? So I come from a long line of artists, and so that's what I do. That's what I like. Right now, I don't make a whole lot of money at tarot reading because I'm still at the beginning. And of course, being psychic and being intuitive and being able to relay messages from beyond is something that ran in our family as well. But anyway, what I'm saying is that the main part of my income comes from what I create with my hands. I added other things to it to make it, what's the word? Profitable, but lucrative even, to give me time to do other things. And yeah, my mother and my grandmother would never have seen it that way, as something that could have such high income potential. But Capricorn, if anybody knows how to create something with a high income potential, it's you. To make a high income potential out of anything, it's you. Okay, Capricorn, they're my money masters. I think you're figuring out how to turn, for those who this resonates with, you're figuring out how to turn a family, this family legacy into something really profitable for yourself. And I'm kind of giggling thinking about it. You're just like, I'm not quite sure how it's all going to play out yet, okay? But you are embracing the fact that it could work. Whatever it is, it's like, I know I can do it. I just don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Can I tell you exactly how? Not with that Seven of Cups. I can't tell you exactly how that's going to play, how that thing you're working on is going to play out. But I know that that's like the significant, the life purpose and the abundance and prosperity are huge in this, because for Capricorn, the material abundance is like, it's a big deal. Okay. So let's look at your abundance and prosperity then. Let's look at messages for your abundance and prosperity. Often our soul purpose is entwined with our abundance and prosperity. Often that soul purpose is entwined with love. It depends on what sign you are. It depends on what's going on in your life. Let's see what the cards have to say for May. No, the World, transition. When you couldn't commit to something in the past, when you were just doing, I feel like you were just doing whatever other people were telling you would be profitable. Like you got a job and you're like, okay, I'll show up to it. But you were fully committed, right? Because it wasn't your thing. It wasn't your family legacy. It wasn't something that was really significant and meaningful to you. you weren't really profitable in it. And so you're like, in and out, not committed, right? Ready to leave it, ready to let it go at a moment's notice. Okay, that's changing. That cycle is closing out. You're getting to a cycle where things are going to be like, it's consistently increasing income. You're working on this right now. Okay, let's get some of my dark colored cards here and get a little bit of clarification on that. The steady increase of income cycle that I'm getting a download about. What can be done? What can be done to help that out? What can be done to support that? What is to be known about that? The Page of Wands is the excited, ecstatic apprentice. Remember, we're talking about making a commitment to something that you're excited and passionate about. Let yourself be an apprentice of the things that you're passionate about. Don't be afraid to talk to people who know things, Capricorn. I don't think you're afraid. But you're being advised to allow yourself to be mentored. Allow yourself to be coachable. Ask questions from people who know things. Third time today. Still way quieter than my apartment. This person is so cool. Anyway, yeah, that's what the Page of Wands is all about. They've got a passion. They don't know how to make it happen themselves because they're still an apprentice. They're still a kid. So to become a master, though, you have to be teachable. Let yourself be taught. Forgive yourself for not knowing everything right now because you will eventually know everything. And there's the Strength card encouraging you to release attachment to your ego regarding what you don't know. And it's like your comfort zone is very small right now because you still don't know a whole lot, right? Your comfort zone is very small right now because you haven't stuck your neck out into these new ways of doing things yet. But where you start putting yourself out there on a regular basis, you start getting yourself out there, you start talking to the right people, you start showing up to the things that are really important to you, that's what becomes the new comfort zone. That becomes the new comforting thing to do, and you'll protect that at all costs. That will be the new comfort zone, okay? That lion represents the ego, which needs to be comforted by the higher self into coming out into a new place on a regularly to the point where it becomes comfortable. And until the ego feels safe. The ego will not feel safe at first, but you just keep pushing yourself out there, like every time you push yourself out there to try something new, your income's gonna go boop. Sorry. I thought that was so funny. Anyway, it's like income, boop, ego, boop, income, boop, ego, boop, like that. Or like the inverse, right? The ego goes like this, the income, or I don't know. Love, romance, intimate connections. There could be potentially millions of Capricorns out there watching this video right now. Maybe, why not? Those Capricorns could be in all kinds of different relationships. They could be in committed relationships. They could be in, I don't know where this is going, connections. They could be in whatever's, right? They could just not care about relationships at all. But I have a feeling that those of you who are in committed relationships where you're feeling really good about it, or those of you who don't give a crap about being in a relationship, aren't listening to this reading for that. There are those of you who want to know about your relationships. You're dating, or you're wanting somebody to be coming in. Let's look at the love, romance, connections. Queen of Pentacles is the receiver. She turns, it's Virgo in the archetypal personalities of the tarot. She turns raw resources into something really beautiful and useful. She's the She's the efficiency queen. She's the planner. She creates something really nice out of something else. The value added lady. She adds value to things that are already existing. Okay? How can you add value to your existing life? How can you turn what you already have into something soft and romantic in order to attract love from the outside? How can you love yourself on the inside to attract love from the outside? Let's get a little bit more clarification from this other deck that I have. For those of you who need to hear this, I'm really feeling you loving yourself. I'm feeling you spoiling yourself. As though that's the way your partner is treating you. Okay. So we do have the 5, we have another devil. Another devil came out. So we got 2 devils. What is up with that? But we do have the 5 of Pentacles, and I do feel like the 5 of Pentacles and the 9 of Swords and the devil all have something to do with each other. And it really has to do with believing that there is a scarcity of love out there. So I guess that's something that needed to be talked about. The believing that there's a scarcity of love out there. And for those of you who resonate with that, with needing to hear, do you resonate with needing to hear that you have to teach yourself how to love yourself in a way that you wish that other people would love you? To treat yourself in ways that you wish other people would treat you? Is that meaningful to you? Are you tired of being all by yourself? Do you want to be prioritized? Do you want other people to bring you safety? Comfort? Do you want to be nurtured in this way? You got to nurture you that way first, and then other people will come in wanting to treat you that way. I know it sounds cliche, but it's the truth. And what I did, not that I have like the most perfect relationship in the whole wide world and all that nonsense. There's always problems in relationships. But the connection that I have with my sweetheart right now wasn't always so good. There was a time when it was really, really hard. And what was making it really hard was that I expected that my sweetheart would treat me in this like really, really great way. That like I was treating him the way that I wanted to be treated. And he thought, okay, I'll just let you since you have all this energy. But I wanted to be treated that way, right? So what I did was I pulled way back on treating him that way because he didn't actually care. It was not meaningful to him. That's not what he needed. That wasn't a need for him. I needed it. So I started treating myself that way instead. I turned my attention away from him and instead put it on me. And what happened was he turned around and he was like, I'll start treating you that way too. Isn't that weird? Bye. It's weird, but it happened, okay? Now what about this? So I was talking about the scarcity. I was talking about the fear of being alone. Okay, there's a fear of being alone. When is somebody going to treat me the way that I want to be treated? You see how sad that face is? And then there's this like, the devil is like obsessive thinking. It's also representative of Capricorn. Sorry, Capricorn. That one of the archetypal personality cards of Capricorn is the devil, but it's attachment to the material, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm not like, anyway, it's like, the devil represents feeling like you're tied to an old way of being, feeling like you're stuck, trapped in some taboo connection. What's my download about that? Why is the devil here? It's just letting you know that it's okay for you to do your own thing. That you don't have to be trapped in the tape loop of believing that you are a whole, complete person if you're in a relationship. Am I saying it the right way? You're the only way to be a whole, complete person is to be in a relationship. okay? Once you release your attachment to that, to having to be in a relationship, and you spoil yourself instead of spoiling the other person, you're gonna feel so much better. And you realize how much nonsense you put up with just so that you wouldn't have to be alone. You put up with a lot of nonsense. A lot of scarcity. You spent way too much money on people in the past. You put way too much energy into people in the past, when this is really who you needed to be. Okay? You needed to be the person sitting back and allowing yourself to be treated really well. When you treat your sweethearts as though they're capable of taking care of themselves and instead spoil you. Take yourself to a hotel room just because you want to. That's what I did. Like I said, it was a Virgo. I'm Virgo, right? The archetypal personality of Virgo. I'm a Virgo. What did I do? I took myself out to a hotel room because I deserve it. Nobody else is taking me out. I took myself out. Okay? Don't expect that somebody else is going to do it for you. That is an obsessive, whiny, scarcity-minded thought. Okay? Well, sorry, Capricorn. I kind of went off on a rant there at the end. Essentially, you got to be in love with you before anybody else can be in love with you, right? All right, closing out, finishing up, let's talk about you. Like, I'm coming back to this choosing this commitment to something that is bigger than just you, potentially something that is like in your lineage, and you're not sure which way to go, but what I'm feeling is you're going to be inspired. You're going to be inspired every step of the way. But make sure and ask for help from people who know things that you don't, okay? If this reading was meaningful, if it hit hard for you, if it hit home, there are a couple of links in the description box below this video that will take you to my PayPal or my Venmo. You can send me a couple dollars. That will mean a lot to me to feel like I'm really making an impact in people's lives. Love you, and I'll see you later. Have a good month, Capricorn. Get some things taken care of.